Hello friends, welcome back to the series on Shrimad Bhagwat Puran. This is the second part of this series and we are discussing the Mahatmya or the power of this story. The stories of the power of the Katha are the stories of King Parikshit, Bhakti Devi and her sons Gyana and Vairagya, and Atmadev Brahman. In the last part, we saw what is Bhagwatam. That is, it is a Puran about the Leelas performed by various avatars of Lord Vishnu on our earth. One story about the power or Mahatmya, that is the story of King Parikshit, was covered in the last episode. Now we move on to the second story, that is Bhakti Devi, Gyana and Vairagya. In the Kali Yuga, Bhakti has weakened and Gyana and Vairagya are aged and powerless. Shri Narad Muni, who is a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and the son of Lord Brahma, keeps on going around the world to see the Leelas of Lord Vishnu. He is depicted very wrongly in most movies because he is shown as if he is a clown and trying to stir up trouble. But actually he is a great devotee and it's a great sin to show him in that negative light. One day Shri Narad was going to Vrindavan when he saw a very strange sight on the banks of river Yamuna. He saw a very beautiful young goddess crying bitterly and some other beautifully adorned ladies trying to comfort her. Nearby lay two frail old men who looked very weak and as if they were on deathbed. Narad asked her, bowing before her, "Who are you and who are all these people?" The goddess replied, "I am Bhakti, that is the goddess of devotion, and these are various rivers like the Ganga who have come to comfort me, and these two are my sons, Gyana and Vairagya. I was born in the Dravid Pradesh. I grew up in Karnataka, but when I came to the north, I became old and frail. After coming to Vrindavan, I became youthful and strong again, but my sons Gyana and Vairagya are still weak and frail." Narad promised her, "I will look after what is to be done about this, and I will see to it that you will be revived for the people of Kali Yuga." And then he started on his quest to revive them. He went to various deities. First he went to the Vishnu Lok and prayed to Lord Vishnu to appear, who appeared in the form of Lord Krishna and blessed him. On asking, Narad said, "I have come because Bhakti Devi and her sons Gyana and Vairagya are very much weakened in the Kali Yuga and they need your help." Lord Vishnu replied, "Go to the Brahmalok and ask your father Brahmadev. He knows the solution to this." Then Narad went to Brahmalok and bowed before his father and asked him the solution to this problem. Lord Brahma said, "No problem can be solved without penance. You have to work hard for the solution. Go to the Himalayas and perform a penance to your elder brother Sanat Kumar. They will appear before you and ask them to narrate the Bhagwatam before Bhakti Devi and her sons." Then Narad went to the Himalayas and performed a long, deep penance unto his brothers, the Sanat Kumar. After many years of prayer, the Sanat Kumar appeared before him. They asked him why he was praying like that. So Narad bowed before his elder brothers and said, "In the Kali Yuga, Bhakti Devi and Gyana and Vairagya are very much weakened. So I request you to please come to the earth and narrate the story of Bhagwatam to them so that they can be revived." The Sanat Kumars happily agreed and asked him to make arrangements. Narad went to the river Ganga and arranged for the satsang at the Anand Ghat near Haridwar. The four Sanat Kumars arrived and took the Vyasapeeth and narrated the Katha. Lot of great sages gathered there, great kings and great men, but apart from this, many common men also attended. The people who were unwilling to come, sage Bhrigu himself convinced them to come and listen to the Katha. From the narration of the Bhagwatam arose Bhakti Devi and her sons in their divine strong form. Whenever the story will be narrated, Gyana, Vairagya and Bhakti will automatically arise from the listening of the story itself. The glory of the Saptah Katha, or the week narration, is that people can be liberated and be immersed in Bhakti, Gyana, and Vairagya just by listening to the story in a devotional mood. Let's move on to the third story, that is the story of Atmadev Brahman. One lived a very pious and virtuous Brahmin named as Atmadev. He got married to a very beautiful young lady whose name was Dhundhuli. They were quite happy together. As they grew older, they had no children and tension started increasing at home. There would be lot of argument and this would cause much sorrow among them. One day, Atmadev was walking in a dejected mood along the river bank when he came across a sage. The sage blessed him and asked him why he is looking so unhappy and sad. Atmadev said, I have no children and my pitars, that is my ancestors, are suffering because I have no son to give water for them. If my son will offer water, then only my ancestors will be satisfied. The sage said, O Brahmin, you are not destined to have a child in this life. Don't ask for it. But Atmadev kept on insisting. The Brahmin said, I need a child to take care of my ancestors' well. The sage said, even if I give you a child by blessing you, it will not be a virtuous child and you will not be happy. But Atmadev still wanted it. So the sage gave him a fruit in the form of prasadam and said, give this to your wife and she will bear a child. Atmadev happily went home and gave the fruit to his wife Dhundhuli. Dhundhuli received it from her husband happily, and her husband said, take this in a mood of reverence and prayer, then you will become a mother. Afterwards, Dhundhuli discussed this with her friend and sister and said, if I get pregnant, I'll get fat, I will lose my beauty, I will lose my health, I'll have to go through a lot of pain to give birth. After giving birth also, I'll have to feed the baby and spoil my figure further. Furthermore, I will have to clean after the child, which is a very dirty thing. So I feel very dirty doing it. I do not want to give birth. So on the suggestion of the sister, she thought, let me give this food to the cow and I can act that I am pregnant, and at the time of delivery, I'll go to my parents' place and bring my sister's child in the form of my own child. So she did this. She gave the fruit to the cow and acted as if she is pregnant and finally went home to give birth to the child. She came back with the child of her sister, who was named as Dhundhukari after Dhundhuli. That was a very wicked child who used to bully and beat up other children. On the other hand, the cow, having taken the fruit, gave birth to a human child, but the child had ears like a cow, so he was named as Gokarna. Gokarna grew up to be a virtuous Brahmin, whereas Dhundhukari grew up to be a wicked man. Dhundhukari was involved in all bad acts like thieving, gambling, prostitution, and violence. After the death of his father, he started beating up his mother, asking her for more and more money. But she did not have any money to give him, so he threw out his mother from the house and brought home bad women. He started stealing to fulfill the needs of the family. One day, he got some ornaments, and the women thought, one day he will get caught and we will also be punished with him, so let us kill him. They all fell upon him and killed him, and dug a shallow grave inside the hut and buried him there. Because of this, he could not get his last right and become a pret. That is a form of a ghost. In the pret form, he would feel hungry and thirsty, but he was unable to physically drink or eat. He was suffering a lot. When his brother Gokarna came back from his Tirtha Yatra, Dhundhukari started appearing before him in various forms like a sheep, buffalo, an elephant, Indra, Agni, etc. Gokarna understood this is some troubled soul and asked, who are you and why are you appearing in these different forms before me? Then Dhundhukari appeared in the ghost form in front of his brother and said, I am your brother Dhundhukari, and because of my bad deeds in this life, I am suffering in this ghost form. I have become a pret and I am not able to drink or eat and I am suffering a lot. Gokarna said, "Oh, I will get the narration of the Bhagavatam for you, and that will liberate you." Then Gokarna organized a Bhagavad Saptah, that is the 1 week narration of the Bhagavad Katha, where Dhundhukari could not sit because he was a pret, so he entered a bamboo stick which had 7 knots. After the end of the story of each day, 1 knot would break, and after the end of 7 days, all the knots broke, and Dhundhukari appeared in a divine form and arose. He was liberated just by listening to the Bhagavatam. Thus, even the wicked and bad people, fallen people, can be liberated by listening to the Bhagavatam. Lord Vishnu has various avatars, and he has left all his power in the Bhagavatam for the good of people in the Kali Yuga. Lord Krishna, while going to his abode, narrated this to his brother Uddhavji and told him that I will leave my power within the Bhagavatam for the good of the people of the Kali Yuga. If they just listen to this devotedly, they can be liberated. So we saw 3 stories. One story was of King Parikshit, the other story was about Bhakti Devi and her sons, and the third story was about Dhundhukari. The essence of the stories is hearing the Bhagavatam equates to liberation. Living Bhagavat. The Puran is not different from Lord Krishna himself. It has all the power of Lord Krishna. If we listen devotedly, we can be liberated just by listening. This brings us to the end of this episode. If you like this channel, I request you to please subscribe and share with your friends. Till we meet in the next episode, Jai Shri Sitaram, Jai Shri Radha Krishna, Namaskar.